What's up, guys? Welcome back to Streetcar Shenanigans YouTube channel, and we have hinted at this segment coming to the channel for about a month now. And I originally released it by saying I don't want it to be a car that we built first, and I don't want it to be a Mustang first. But you know, shit happens. So we are doing a Mustang first, and it's a Mustang that we built. Get over it. Anyway, so this segment of Streetcar Shenanigans YouTube channel, we are going to call the Streetcar Showcase, where we are going to go around showcasing local builds in the area, whether they're done by us, done in your garage, inherited, given to, or you purchased it as is. It doesn't matter how you got it. You don't have to build it yourself, but we do want to shed some light on some local cars in our area and put them on the internet for the world to see your hard-earned work. So if you have a car that you want to showcase, please reach out to us an email down below. But let's get into today's first Streetcar Showcase. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. If you are new to Streetcar Shenanigans YouTube channel, please make sure you subscribe down below. Hit the notification bell so you can get an update every time we upload a video for you to watch. Today is the first episode of our Streetcar Showcase, where we're going to take, whether it's customer builds or anybody's build, and put it on display for the world to see. Obviously, you can see that today we're doing a 2003-2004 Cobra. This is a black 04 Cobra owned by Katie and Kevin Linus. It is a beautiful car, and we're really happy to have it featured as the first car for the Streetcar Showcase. I want to kind of keep this formatted, so I want to show you guys the car, what it's about, what did we do to it in this case, since we did build it, and some of the cool things about it. Let's start with just the general overview of the car. It's obviously black. It has some custom powder-coated FR500 wheels that you can see there. And it's in really, really good shape. I'll post a few pictures that I took of the interior. It has really rare Cobra R Recaro seats. They're really comfortable and they look awesome. So that is a really good part of this car. But what's really interesting about it is that this car has 120,000 miles on it. 120,000+ miles on it. Just goes to show that good cars are out there with high miles. This thing is solid both top and bottom. It runs like a dream. It handles awesome, considering it's a solid rear axle car. And it's really overall one of the most fun Cobras that I've driven, especially one that we've built. So the rundown on this is pretty simple. Kevin and Katie found us on YouTube, or at least solidified their thoughts of using us on YouTube, and they asked us to check over the motor. Now, a lot of customer cars come with their own nicknames. This one came with Sneck, which is a viral video for snake, I guess. But we had a different name for it when it came in. We've been calling this car Smokey Joe, mainly because it consumed about a quart of oil every 400 to 500 miles. So this thing had all sorts of problems when it came to us, mainly due to oil consumption. So we ended up pulling out the entire engine. You can see that we did a lot of custom powder coating work while it was out. We obviously stuck with the black theme per usual. Went through everything. It got new pistons, rings, bearings. We kept the same stroker crankshaft that was in it. We kept the rods that were in it, but we did go to a better aftermarket piston from Diamond. Now, this setup is really stout. It's got almost 11:1 compression ratio. It is still stock camshafts, stock timing components on the front, with a 2.9 non-crusher Whipple. And this thing made some serious power, so much so that we were having a hard time keeping it on pump gas when we were dynoing it after all the work that we did. And it's only on like 16 or 17 pounds of boost. So we really did put a lot of compression. I think this car actually helped us find what really the cap is on a pump gas compression ratio for these positive displacement blowers. And less than this is ideal. So maybe 10.5 if you're going to be running it on 93. And even then, if you're going to go beat on it, we're going to recommend you put some kind of fuel additive in it while you're out torching it. Anyway, so back to this thing. We ended up switching it to E85, which was okay because the fuel lines that were on it were trashed. They were leaking. They had old hose. It was 10 years old plus. And at one point, it was rubbing on the rear axle, and they were ruined anyway. So while it was here, we ended up putting all PTFE fuel lines on it. So when the time came to switch it to E85, it was ready. It's got a triple pump setup. Now it's got all PTFE lines, and this thing ended up making like 720 horsepower and I think 620 foot-pounds of torque. Don't quote me on that, but it was right in that area, and it's a freaking riot to drive. So that's the engine setup. It's got a T56 Viper spec, so it has a really deep overdrive. You guys already saw the wheels. They have some pretty custom, they have some pretty trick engine bay stuff like this powder coated cover. I really like that. The car is super clean, especially considering the mileage that's on it. Show you guys the wheels here. Got proxy TQs on the back, try to help with some traction. The color of the wheels really set the car off. It looks really, really good. They got the amber tail lights, which is awesome. Obviously, they're custom plate. This does have, I believe it has long tubes with a catted mid. Sounds really good. Show you guys the interior. They keep this thing so clean. It's only dirty when it's here. You got these ultralight 2 gauges, which are really cool because they're LED backlit and they're actually like yellow and white LEDs, so they actually glow really nice. You won't be able to see it. It's so bright out right now. These are those Cobra R seats that we were talking about. Interior is just mint condition. You would never ever guess that this was a 120,000+ mile car. All right, so starting at the front, we have the built 4-valve, totally forged bottom end, stock cams, good compression. It was topped off with an E85 fuel system and a Whipple 2.9 non-crusher with the JLT high boost intake manifold. We have our custom catch can setup on this. So we have AN lines running to a catch can setup just below this headlight here. You can probably see it down in there. That works out really good. We put that on just about every car now. This also has a MMR oil cooler relocation kit. So it's got the delete plate on the block going to a couple lines, and the oil filter is now up in this front bumper as well. They actually had an issue where it cracked the oil pump house, or the oil cooler housing, so we just removed it completely. It was easier and just as cost effective. Now these guys are no strangers to Mustangs. They've had a few Mustangs in their time, and that's why they've ended with this one, because this has always been their dream one, is an 0304. And the only thing that separates this from most 0304s is this one does have a solid rear axle. This car was previously in a heavy raced configuration. So before they got it, the car was really used for race. It was, I think they were spraying methanol in it. I think it had a different blower setup on it. So it's definitely been through the ringer, but they really brought it back to optimal condition, and it looks really good. It really shows that they take care of it. When we had the engine out, we cleaned the whole engine bay. Katie came up and cleaned everything. We made sure everything was routed nicely, and it overall came out really good. All right, now part of the Streetcar Showcase is obviously driving the car. Now, Katie and Kevin said that they did not want to be in the video, so when you guys have your car showcase, you could obviously choose if you want to be in the video or not, but they did give me the okay to take it for a ride and take you guys for a rip in this thing. Now, it's 100 degrees outside, so Dan and I are going to take you guys for a ride, but we're only going to get on it a couple times. These cars get really bad heat soak, especially on a day like today. So let's take this thing for a rip, show you what 700 horsepower and 600 foot-pounds of torque looks like in one of these cars with a solid axle and a drag radial. And it's going to be a lot of fun taking it around the block. All right, guys, now before we take this for a test drive, I just want to show you guys the few dyno videos that we never posted of it. When we dynoed this car, we were dynoing like 4 cars in that week, and we never made a video for it. So you guys are going to see them attached to these showcase deals as we go. So here is a couple dyno pulls from Sneck's Dyno Day.
Oh my God.
right, now without further ado, Katie and Kevin gave us the okay to take you guys for a ride, even though they opted out of being in their video of SNEC. So let's grab Dan, go for a ride, show you guys what this car's all about.
Never ceases to put a smile on your face.
Yeah. It's way better with these tires than the last time we drove it.
Oh yeah.
Does this have solid upper bushings in it?
I don't know. I don't remember.
It's pretty solid back there. I don't remember what control arm it had. They put a front sway bar back on. That was
Yeah.
good
Way
idea.
better.
Definitely doesn't feel as racy now.
No, they feel really floaty without a front sway bar.
On the streets of Mexico here. Alright, let's test the drag radials out.
And the brakes work pretty well too.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention the brakes.
Nice little rip. But yeah, like he was saying, these actually has Cobra R from brakes Brembos as well. Someone repainted them. It doesn't say Brembo anymore, but it does have the 4-piston fixed caliper Cobra R brakes. It's a little ripper for sure. I don't know if you can see it, but I think it's 3 gears. Going that way. The Whipple actually screams pretty good for being Whipple. Usually they're not as loud, but this one, it's not even spun crazy hard, but it does sound very nice. Overall, the car sounds really nice as well.
RIP to the TQs. I'd say there's like 3 gears right there. Oh yeah, it did go into 3rd. Wow, she was spinning the whole time. He's up the rest of the way. That gears were grabbed.
Definitely a little ripper for sure. And if you go down JS, you can.
It's hard not to find yourself doing 100 in this thing.
No, and it sounds so good. It's not as obnoxious as others,
Right.
even with long tubes and full exhaust going out the back.
And last tires that were on it is like night and day.
Yeah.
Felt
Before
like
I think it
made
had
900.
right. Before it had an NTO5, I believe. Now it has a Proxy TQ, which is probably one of their stickier tire compounds that they have.
That's me this time. Right here. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. still going.
I really let out. I'm like, okay, I can keep
That
going.
was epic. That was a good one.
I was like 50% throttle. I'm like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I probably went to third then, just sat there. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap up our first impromptu Streetcar Showcase with Sneck. I will make sure to put a Instagram tag on the screen and also a link in the description down below so you guys can follow Katie, Kevin, and their Cobra. It's an awesome car. You guys saw us just beating on it without a problem. Knocks these tires off well through third gear. So it's really fun. This platform, this chassis is really, really good at this power level. 700 is where it really starts to be a handful, but at the same time controllable. It's not way crazy out of hand, looping around every time. It's definitely manageable, and with a positive displacement style blower, you can really tell it quickly what kind of torque you want it to make or not make. Real quickly, I just want to touch on the future modifications on this car. The whole front suspension is all stock. As you can see, it's really, really low. So they plan on getting rid of that, putting some kind of aftermarket K-member in, and a coilover setup so they can really adjust the ride height and ride quality. Even on some of the minor bumps that we were on the test drive a few moments ago, it's bottoming out the strut on it. So you really got to be cautious about where you're driving with it this low, but it does look really good, so that's always the plus side. I want to take a second to thank you to Katie and Kevin for obviously letting us take the car out for a review and letting us drive it, but of course for being Streetcar family and letting us build it was way more fun than taking it on the short little joyride that we got to take it on now. But this car is awesome. If you have any questions about this car, this build, or anything else you want to ask us, make sure you post in the comments down below. We will make sure to go through each and every one of them and answer them accordingly. I will put a link in the description for some other information on this car on past videos. All right, and that wraps up Streetcar Showcase number 1 with a built Cobra as our first entry. I was really happy to have this car on the channel, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed making it. As always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, and we'll see you guys in the next Streetcar Showcase video.